Hey, Annie Purdue Olson here, and I am wondering if decisions are causing you to circle the same mountain over and over and over again. Are you stuck in the decision-making process? Well, listen in, because in ministry, group decision-making is a part of our deal. We've got boards, we've got teams, we've got volunteers, and we are collecting a lot of input and feedback into the decisions that we need to make. And group decision-making is tough. We can get stuck in a lot of different ways in group decision-making. One of the things is we have all different personalities. Some people are like, show me the data. Before I make a move, I want to see the numbers. And other people are like, there's this gut sense of what's going on, and because of this gut sense, I jump right into brainstorming and I'm going to make a move. That can create tension in group decision making and actually can stall the decision making process. You know what? Decisions can also loop into a series of quick fixes. We can be pressured by the things that we need to do in ministry, and so we make a quick decision, and so then we loop into these quick decisions and quick fixes, and we never actually get to what's really going on, to the deeper issue. We're just constantly managing the symptoms. Then that decision keeps circling back around for us because we're not actually dealing with the real issue. Another thing that really gets us stuck in decision making is because of the group discussions that we have to have. We talk about one decision and it links to the next decision and it links to the next decision. And then all of a sudden we've woven this web of all of the decisions that are interconnected and linked together that everybody in the room is so confused, they don't know what decision to make anymore. What was that original decision we were trying to make? Because now we've got about 30 that we need to make, and we get stuck there and we can't move forward with decisions. So we need to break the cycle of circling around in our decision-making processes. I've got 3 suggestions for you, 3 strategies that you can try. Number 1 is create space for the different ways that people shine in the decision-making process. So time slots for data collection, and you set a time frame to do that, and you collect the data and you show the data, and then you stop and you say that time is done. Now we're moving on to the dreaming and the brainstorming. Now that we have some data to go on, it may not be complete for everybody, but it's enough for people to start brainstorming and dreaming. And so you move into that stage, you brainstorm different ideas, and then you stop. And you move into then, okay, we're not taking new ideas. It's time to analyze what we know and decide what we're going to do. So you list pros and cons. You do whatever analytical approach you need to do as a group, a voting method if you do that. But then you stop. You accept the decision, you make the decision, even if it's not the perfect one. It'll come back around again in the mountain if it's not the perfect one. So go with it and plan it out. And set the plan in action, assign out who's going to do what, and make that decision happen. Follow up on that decision then is the next thing, is make sure that everybody knows their part and does their part. And that will stop the cycle by creating some space. A second thing that you can do is create a parking lot. Because remember, all those decisions lead to other decisions. They are linked. They are interconnected. Decisions are. So when you're talking about deciding one thing, you are going to come up with other decisions that need to be made and things that are linked together. And so create a parking lot, grab a notepad or a flip chart or a whiteboard in the middle of the meeting, and those items which you can't deal with right now, which are knocking you off track, capture them. Write them down so that you know that you're going to come back to them. Assure the group that you're going to come back to those decisions. Even set a timeline of when you're going to come back to that particular topic. Get it on a future agenda for a meeting so they don't get lost, but they don't become the focus of the conversation right now, and you stay focused on the decision that you need to make right now. The third strategy is for any leader that's facilitating a group decision making, become a master facilitator. Oh, this is so hard because we think sometimes that making a decision in a meeting is about setting the agenda for the meeting and then starring those things that need decisions, and we hope that it flows that way. But how many times in the middle of our meetings do the agendas not flow the way that we thought that they would? They just don't sometimes. And so when we are in the middle of that, as leaders, we got to become a master facilitator. We need to know when that topic that comes up that was not on the agenda, that was unexpected, is one that we need to camp on for a little bit, because if we don't, it's going to come back around and get us later. Or if it's one that we need to table and put to the side and say, this goes in the parking lot and we're going to deal with this later and we're going to stay focused and we're going to stay on task. A master facilitator needs to know how to ask the kinds of questions that will draw out that person in the room that might not be saying as much as they need to say. A master facilitator needs to be the one that can redirect somebody who's monopolizing the conversation. To be able to get those group decisions moving along, you need to become a master facilitator. You need to learn some great coaching skills, group coaching skills that are going to help you ask questions, redirect, and move that group forward. So if these 3 tips have been helpful for you, I encourage you to download my Ultimate Leader Guide. There's a link in the comments of this video, in the details of this video. I'd love for you to click that, download it. You'll get some more great tips on how to have more of a coach approach to this group decision-making struggle that we all face when we're in ministry. And if you need a strategy session just to figure out, okay, what do I need to know that I don't know about becoming a master facilitator, grab a phone call with me, message me. I will kick back and we'll grab calendar time and grab just a 30-minute free call to think through your strategy for how to facilitate group decision making. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. And thanks for joining me in my backyard office. I'm so happy, as always, here in Minnesota to be outside as much as I can in the summertime. Thanks for joining me.